You've probably heard from the school, the media, Hollywood, movies, that people go to university, to college, to the sort of higher education, not for education itself, but rather to find themselves. That's what movies, TV shows always sort of make out things like high school, college, university to be like. They think that that's where people find themselves, they find what they want to do in life and their purposes. But that couldn't be further away from the truth. The degeneracy that many people partake in things like university, in things like the sort of further education in colleges, ends up meaning that when they exit the education system from university, they end up becoming more lost than what they were when they even entered. All the distractions from parties, from drugs, from the overstimulation that they're constantly experiencing by being in these environments means they don't really have time to find themselves because they're too busy doing the exact opposite and distracting themselves and losing themselves from who they truly are and their core desires. Now, this sort of social life and degenerate life may seem good to you, but do not get it twisted. You will not find yourself, you will not find your purposes by going through this degenerate lifestyle because of all the distractions, as we've just talked about previously, the drinks, the drugs, the alcohol, all that kind of stuff, the atmospheres, the raves, the dances, the clubs. It's not going to help you find yourselves because you are distracting yourself from your core desires. You're distracting yourself from actually being able to think straight like a normal person. And when you were thinking, that's when you're going to find your core desires, your core purposes, and actually what you want to do in life. That's when you're going to find yourself. Not when you're in a college, in a party, like doing all these bad habits that, while yeah, maybe there is a time and a place for them, I do not want you to get it twisted because people don't go to university to find themselves. But they end up becoming more lost than what they already started. They end up becoming more lost with what they want to do with their life than what they were when they entered it. Because Hollywood, schools, movies, TV shows, they all sort of make it out like university, college, that's the place to be, to find yourself and to have the good life. But the problem is you won't find yourself there. You will end up becoming like less of what you were previously. You're going to sort of go down in your sort of self-worth by doing all the things that you may not even want to do in the name of finding yourself, which if you really do want to find yourself, there are so many better ways to go about it than going to parties, drinking, drugs, and overstimulating yourself with things that you may not even really like. You may sort of partake in this lifestyle simply to find yourself, accepting the lies that the media and schools have told you, and then you end up, when you leave university, being more lost with what you actually want to do with your life. And that's what so many people end up like, and it's just a sad reality, because when you actually find yourself in these sort of situations, it's almost immediately after you exit the education system from university, from the secondary schools, the colleges, the high schools, because then you've got nothing to do, no more parties to go to, no more lectures and studying to do. You end up having nothing to do, and so you sort of sit there, realize that you have to do something with your life, and then you'll find your core desires and your purposes. And many people say that that's what university did that. University did that to them, but that was them being alone, and they could have done that without university entirely. So I just don't want you to get it twisted. I don't want you to sort of go into these sort of situations where you're going to social events and you're trying to find yourself. The problem is that if you really do want to find yourself, find your purposes and your core desires, what you want to do to have a massive impact on the world, or an as big impact as you feasibly can, you need to relax. You can't be overstimulating yourself. That's not the way that you find yourself. That's the way that you lose yourself. You lose yourself in the drinking, the drugs. You've heard people say that they almost get lost in the sort of party atmosphere. They're not finding themselves in the atmosphere. They're losing themselves. It's in the sort of words in the songs. You lose yourself in the parties, in the atmospheres. You don't find yourself. That's the way that you end up getting lost, and I highly recommend that you sort of don't get it twisted and actually find yourself by relaxing, staring at your wall or your ceiling or your bed sheets or your floor or any one object for an extended period of time. That will help you find yourself more than 5 to 4 years of university, where you may be thinking that you're finding yourself, but then when you exit that education system, you're going to be more lost than what you were when you already started. And so yeah, I really just hope that you don't get it twisted, because people don't go to uni to find themselves. They end up losing themselves, and all the sort of uni marketing, Hollywood shows, TV shows perpetuate that high school and college is the place to be when you want to find yourself and you want to have a good time. But while maybe it is a good time at university, maybe it is a college, I personally have never experienced that yet, and maybe I will in the future, but I don't want you to get it twisted and to think that you're going to find yourself, because if you really want to find yourself and your core desires, you need to relax and you need to not be overstimulating yourself with all these sort of materialistic desires like the party atmospheres and all that sort of stuff. So I hope you found value at this video, and I hope you understand that university isn't the way to find yourself, and it's actually a lot simpler than that, and you literally just need to stare at your wall. So with that, I also recommend subscribing, because I love this community of young tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have, and good luck.